Welcome back to Luke's Properties YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to retire on a 34k salary. Let's get into it. Okay, so the average salary in the UK at the moment is £34,000, which means your take-home pay is £2,297 per month. Now, out of that £2,297, you need to allocate 60% of that for your needs, which is £1,378. Your needs will consist of your rent plus your bills, which needs to cost no more than £1,150. Now, I know you're probably thinking that's nowhere near enough for a property in London, but you have to think creatively. You have to think about how you can minimize your living expenses. So whether that means staying at home with your mum and dad and keeping your expenses low, or if you do choose to move out, then you should only really be looking at a small one-bedroom flat or apartment. Maybe you could share or buddy up with a friend. That way you're spending less on rent and bills. Or maybe you're in a relationship and again, you can split the rent between two of you. But you have to somehow find a way to keep your living expenses, so your rent plus your bills, at around £1,150. It can't be any more than that if you're on the average salary, if you want to retire early, like I'm going to show you exactly how to do. If you want to work until you're 67, then go and rent somewhere really nice and pay thousands of pounds in rent, as long as you know that you're going to be working in the rat race on a hamster wheel until you're 67 if you don't learn how to budget your money and start investing. So your rent plus your bills is £1,150. Your next need is food, and your limit for food is £150 a month. Now again, lots of people say, I can't live on £150 a month. Every time I go to the supermarket, I spend £50. Well, you need to be disciplined. You need to buy less food, and you only need to buy what you actually need rather than things that you want. You can buy a basket of food at Aldi or Lidl that only contains the necessities. So some protein, some fruit, some veg, and some carbs if you like eating carbs. But ultimately, you have to sacrifice now to be able to become financially free in the future. There has to be some give and take. You can't have it all your way. You can't be spending £500 on your supermarket shop and paying £1,500 to £2,000 a month on rent when you're on the average salary. You're only taking home £2,297. So you can't afford to spend like that. This may be a reality check for some of you, but if you want to retire early, you have to start acknowledging your spending habits, and you have to budget. So cut the crap, stop buying things you don't need, only buy what you actually need, what your body really needs, which is protein, some fruit and vegetables, and some carbohydrates if you like those. Everything else is pretty much processed sugar and it's no good for you. So just leave it alone and only buy what you need. Your next cost will be your transport to get to and from work, and your limit for your transport is £78 a month. Now again, I can hear a lot of you screaming, that's not enough for me to get to work, I have to drive, blah, 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 blah. Listen, if you don't want to make sacrifices, then again, stay where you are. You must be happy where you are, and you must want to work until you're 67. If you don't want to work until you're 67 and you like to retire from a property portfolio, then you have to make sacrifices. If you don't want to make sacrifices, then keep doing what you're doing. It's totally down to you. It's your life, it's your choice. But I know what I'd rather. You have two options: work for 40, 50 years and retire at 67, but you get to buy loads of crisps and snacks and chocolates and sweets and a bottle of wine every time you go to the supermarket, and you get to drive your fancy car to and from work every day. Or you make sacrifices now, you invest most of your money into assets, and then you can retire in under 10 years. So if £78 a month isn't enough for you to get to and from work, then you need to start looking at different ways to get transport to work. So can you get on the bus? Can you walk some of the journey? Can you buddy up with a friend who drives and maybe contribute to the petrol? Can you get the train some of the way? Could you even cycle to work? So many people neglect exercise these days, when in actual fact, it's going to keep you alive longer and it's going to reduce your transport cost significantly. So start thinking of ways to reduce your transport costs to £78 a month. You might be thinking it's impossible, but where there's a will, there's a way. So those are your needs. 60%'s been allocated towards your needs. Now let's look at our wants. So you're going to allocate 6% of your take-home pay towards your wants. 6% is £137 a month. Your wants are going to consist of £100 towards fun, whatever you like to do in your spare time. You can spend £100 a month on that. And remember, fun doesn't always have to cost money. Fun can just be spending time with good quality company. Fun can be going for a walk. Fun can be going to the park. You don't always have to spend money to have fun. Even reading a book can be fun. If you're trying to get somewhere in life, then to be honest, fun shouldn't be on the top of your priority list. What should be on the top of your priority list is building your financial freedom for the future. future. Once you've escaped the 9 to 5 and you've built your financial future, you can have as much fun as you want. You won't be working 40 hours a week. You'll have all of this time and thousands of pounds in passive income every month to do whatever you want with. I think that would be a lot more fun than trying to force fun when really and truly you should be saving and investing. Again, there has to be some sacrifice here. And if you're working in a job that you don't necessarily enjoy and you're just going round and round on the hamster wheel, then something has to change, right? Otherwise, you're going to be stuck doing the same thing in 30, 40 years time, wondering where your life's gone, because time goes like that. So you need to limit your fun to £100 a month. Then that leaves you £37 a month for your phone. Now the rest of your monthly income, which is £782, which works out to be 34% of your take-home pay, needs to go towards investing. You're going to put £782 into a high interest savings account that's completely dedicated to buying a property every 2 years. So you're going to put £782 into this high interest savings account, and then you're going to buy one buy-to-let property every 2 years with a deposit of £18,768. And in 10 years time, you'll own 8 properties. So £18,768 is enough for a 25% deposit on a £75,000 buy-to-let property, either in the north of England or over in Wales. Now you might be thinking there aren't properties that exist for that type of price. I've bought properties for around £90,000, for £95,000. I've looked at other properties that are around £80,000, and if I were to go 10 to 20 miles further west into Wales, I could find properties for £60,000, £65,000, £70,000. And these aren't properties that are completely derelict and in terrible condition. These are properties that need some love, some care, maybe a lick of paint here or there. They need to be marketed and rented, and they could be rented to quality tenants. I'm not talking about people on DSS, although I've got nothing against those people. I'm talking about working professional tenants, couples that both work, that have good jobs, or maybe 2 friends that are both working professionals that will be sharers. But there are properties like this all over the UK. You just have to find them. And even if you live in London, you can still buy these properties remotely. All of my properties are in Wales, and I'm originally from London. So Wales is 150 miles away from London. I didn't let that hold me back. So why are you? At the end of the day, if you want something bad enough, then you'll make it happen. And I'll be damned if I work for 40, 50 years for someone else to retire at 67 with a pension that isn't even enough to really get me by, with all of my best years behind me and no real financial freedom. That doesn't feel like life to me. That doesn't sound fair to me. To be honest, it sounds like a scam. So unless you want to do that, which is what most of you are doing right now that are watching this video, then that's fine by me. But if you don't want to live like that and you don't want that to be your existence, then maybe you should listen and do this instead. So you're going to buy a £75,000 property every 2 years. You're going to market it, you're going to find tenants, and you're going to rent it out. And on average, after all of your expenses, you should make around £250 per month in net profit per property that you buy. So you're going to buy one property every 2 years. You're going to market it and you're going to rent it out. And on average, you should make around £275 in net income per month per property, which will be passive income that goes directly into your bank. So the way you should see it is every property you buy is like giving yourself a pay rise, because you're going to make close to £300 extra every month, which also is going to make your saving goals a lot easier, because not only are you making £2,297 a month from your job, you're now also making an additional £275 of passive income from your investments. So as you keep doing this, you keep investing, things get a lot easier because you're making more money, and it all starts to compound, which we'll move on to later on in the video. So every property you buy, you need to see it as you're giving yourself a pay rise. Let me ask you a question. If you went to your boss today and asked them if they would give you a pay rise of £275, do you think they'd say yes, or do you think they'd say no? Most people's bosses would say no. So by doing this, you can actually take matters into your own hands, and every 2 years you can give yourself a pay rise of nearly £300, which will all start to compound as time goes on. Now let me show you how you're going to own 8 properties in 10 years. Let me show you the magic of property investing and how you can leverage and scale your property portfolio. So in year 1, all you're going to be focused on is saving. You're going to be saving up that £782 every month, and you're going to put it in a high interest savings account. Now by the end of year 2, you're going to have enough to buy your first property. So here it is, you buy your first property, you rent it out, and at this point you're making an additional £275 a month, which means now you're taking home nearly £2,600 a month. Year 3 will be another year of saving £782 a month, and then by the end of year 4 you're going to have enough to buy property number 2. So you buy property number 2 in year 4, and then your income goes from £2,600 a month to nearly £2,900 a month, and £600 of that is passive income, which means basically that money comes into your account when you're asleep. You don't have to go and trade 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week for it, getting told what to do by someone else. That money comes into your bank every month without fail. As long as you're being a good landlord, you maintain the property, you keep it in good condition, and you have good tenants, you're going to get that £600 every month into your account passively without doing anything, which is going to really empower you. So that's the position you're going to be in by the end of year 4. Year 5 rolls round and you continue to save your £782 a month. But the house that you bought in year 2 has appreciated in value by around 15%. You'll then be able to go to your mortgage broker and ask for a new mortgage based on the new value, which should work out to be around £10,000 to £11,000. You're going to refinance that additional equity out of that property, and then you're going to put that with some of the rental income that you've received and hopefully been saving, and all of a sudden, like magic, you've got enough for a deposit on another property. So you buy property number 3, which also makes you around £275 per month. So now you're making the best part of £900 per month in passive income, which increases your overall income to around £3,300 per month, and £900 of that is passive income from your investments that just rolls into your account while you're in bed. Then we get to year 6 and you've still been saving your £782 per month every 2 years. So at this point, you've got enough to buy property number 4. You do the same thing. You buy it, you rent it out, and you should be making around £275 per month in net income. Now you're making around £1,200 a month from your investments, which is around half of your salary. So now you're walking into work with your chin up, chest out, because your investments are paying you half of your salary. So at this point, you stop tolerating certain behaviors from your boss. You don't let people talk to you in a way that you find disrespectful, and a lot of the pressure that you put on yourself to make sure you're always doing a good job at work. You probably work extra hours. Some of you might get there early. All of a sudden, all of those pressures start to disappear because your income is starting to become not so reliant on someone else. £1,200 a month in passive income is now appearing in your account every month from your investments. You'll find this feeling incredibly liberating because rather than you working hard for your money, now your money's actually working hard for you. Rather than you having to trade 40 hours a week for your money, you've put your money to work in assets, and now your money is starting to do the work for you. So you've got 4 houses and you're making around £1,200 a month in passive income. Now you get to year 7 and you've still been saving your £782 a month. But here we get another magic moment. You've owned house number 2 for 3 years now, and it's appreciated in value by around 5% per year. So again, you know where I'm going with this. You can then refinance that house, withdraw that additional equity, put it with some of your saved rental income that you've been receiving over the years, and then use that money to buy property number 5. Now you've got a portfolio of 5 properties and you're making around £1,500 a month in passive income, which is a fantastic position to be in. You get to year 8 and you've still been saving your £782 a month, and you've saved £18,768 over 2 years. So you use that money to go and buy property number 6. You repeat the process. Now you're making around £1,800 a month in passive income, which is nearly as much as your salary. Now you're walking into work whenever you feel like it, and you're not taking any rubbish from anyone. You're not working late, you're not working extra hours that you don't get paid for. You're certainly not turning up early for hours that you don't get paid for. And if you really don't enjoy your job, at this point you're really starting to think, as soon as I get a couple more properties, I'm packing this in. Maybe you're even at that point now. Then we get to year 9 and you've owned property number 3 for over 3 years. So that property has also appreciated by 15%. You know where I'm going with this. You refinance that property, you then use the additional equity plus your saved rental income to go and buy property number 7. You rent it out, and now you should be making around £2,100 in passive income, which is nearly as much as you're making trading 40 hours a week every week for your 9 to 5 job. Then you get to year 10, you've still been saving your £782 a month. You've got £18,768 saved to go and buy another £75,000 property, and you go and you buy your 8th property. You should now be making around £2,200 per month in passive income from your investments. And remember, rents increase every year by around 5%. So these numbers are reserved. You might actually be cash flowing around £300 to £320 per month per property at this point, which would mean you'd be making around £2,400 to £2,500 per month in passive income. But will be reserved. You might need to put some money aside for maintenance every month. You might be paying a letting agent between 5 to 10% to manage it for you. So we'll be reserved, and we'll say that now, after doing all of this this, your portfolio is making you £2,200 per month in passive income, which means basically you've replaced the average salary with passive income from your investments, all from saving £782 per month and having a plan. So at this stage, your portfolio value will be worth £600,000 or more. Remember, every time the housing market increases by 5%, so do all of your property values, and you get to benefit from a multiple of that because you own multiple properties. So if you own 8 properties and they're all worth around £80,000, maybe more at this point, every time the housing market increases by 5 or 10%, let's say house prices increase by around 10% every 2 years, that means every 2 years, your property value is going to increase by £8,000 times 8, which is £64,000. So not only are you making £2,200 every month in passive income, but every year your portfolio is going to increase by £64,000 because you have 8 properties all appreciating by 5% per year. Now your money's really working hard for you. It's paying you £2,200 a month in passive income, and your wealth is also increasing by £64,000 every year because you own multiple assets that are all increasing by 5% per year. These are the powers of property, guys. This is how it all starts to compound and make you a very wealthy person, all because you had a plan, you stuck to it, and you invested £782 every single month, which is 34% of your income, into investing. And these are the powers of investing. And ultimately, this is how you quit the rat race and live comfortably off the income from your investments. So rather than trading your time for money, you're now making your money work hard for you. This is how wealthy people operate. This is how wealthy people have all the time in the world, because their income isn't dependent on the time they put in at work. Their income comes from their investments. All you've had to do to get to this position is be disciplined and save/invest 34% of your income, which is £782 per month. This is a fantastic position to be in, and you're all capable of getting here. You just have to be disciplined, you have to focus, and you have to stick to a plan like this. If you want to learn more about buy-to-let investing, then in the video description below, I'll put a link to a free buy-to-let course, which will further your education in buy-to-let. So click the link and download the course. It's free, so why wouldn't you? If you want to watch another video where I buy a property just like this for £95,000, then watch this video next. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.